Hi, this is Marcel of Marcel on Tech, and today I'm talking about what probably is my favorite device of currently this year, really, if I'm honest. But I'm going to tell you 5 problems that I think currently exist with this device, and that is, of course, the Honor V3 Magic. It is a brilliant device, but is it perfect? And I'm going to tell you why I think you should seriously consider maybe not getting it this time round. Let's get into it. Okay, so reason number 1, reliability. As you may or may not know, this is a folding device. So this actually folds quite literally in half. This is a fantastic piece of hardware. I have to say, I am seriously impressed with the way this thing functions and works at the moment. But what we don't know is reliability. What we don't know is what is going to happen at the weakest point. And on all these folding devices, we always know that the seam on the inside of the screen is the most vulnerable part to cracking, breaking, degeneration over time. Now, I haven't heard about any of this happening to this device, but it hasn't been out that long. Now, admittedly, it's been out in China for about 6 months. It's been out in Europe for around a month and a half or so. And so far, I haven't found anything that contraindicates the quality or indicates that there could be degeneration, but it hasn't been out for very long. So of course, that is always going to be a problem. Now, you're always going to have the same problems that all smartphones have, which is glass on the front, glass on the back, and not glass. And if you drop it, it's going to break or crack or damage. Now, that's going to apply whatever the smartphone is if it hasn't got a case. This fantastic one does come with a case in the box. So if you haven't got this on the back of it, which I always have, then there's always that risk. But in terms of vulnerability, I would say, because the build quality does feel so good, that the weakest part is always going to be that seam along the front, in the middle there, as you're opening and closing it so frequently. However, I haven't seen anything like that happening at the moment. The only thing I have noticed is this little bit of cracking sound when it opens and closes. Now, hopefully you can hear that, but it's a very satisfying sound when it closes, which I absolutely love. But there's a little bit of crackling. Now, I'm hoping that that's nothing serious within this device, but if that is the case, then obviously there is a possibility that it has some form of dust or something inside the seam there. Now, this is IP protected, but it isn't absolutely perfect. And of course, it's got lots of moving parts. So reliability is always going to be one of the biggest factors. Reason number 2, you have got competition. This has competition from the likes of Samsung, and it also has competition now from the likes of Vivo as well, who have arguably probably one of the other best folding devices on the market. The only thing I would say going for Samsung at the moment is their software. They haven't got the hardware right, in my opinion. But the Vivo is very, very similar to this in that it's very lightweight. The ratio on the front screen is fantastic. And when you open it out, it really is absolutely glorious. To my mind, I still feel that the V3 is a better device, but I haven't tested the Vivo, so honestly, I couldn't tell you the difference. But there is competition out there when it comes to folding devices, which is great. Reason number 3, the cameras. Now, the cameras historically on all folding devices have been very, very questionable. But on this device, I would say this is finally showing a flagship level camera setup that actually isn't too intrusive, and I even like the actual camera bump itself. But is it perfect? No, it's not as powerful as something like the S24 Ultra, which of course is the very, very best, or of course the Apple iPhone 16 Pro, which will of course be also world-class and world-leading for photography and videography. But this is an A quality camera setup, which the V2 wasn't. That was about a B in my opinion, but this is A, not quite A plus like those other flagships, but this will definitely suit your needs with regard to videography and photography as well. But it isn't the very best there is, and for the money you're paying, that might be what you're looking for. And we'll get to price last of all. Fourth Software limitations. This is using the Magic OS system, and it is a little bit Chinese in its style, which means that it's a bit toy-like, it's a little bit immature in my mind. I don't quite know why there's this obsession with having sort of almost like cartoonish sort of animations and texts and so on, but it is vastly better than it used to be. I've seen previous versions of Magic OS and it just looked a bit annoying. It actually looked like a software system created for children, but this is way more along the lines of what you want to be looking for. But it's still not quite as usable as, let's say, something like Samsung, because Samsung has the DeX system built into the background. Now, this device does have a desktop version, which means you can plug into a screen, a monitor, and then have a desktop version if you force it. But it isn't very well refined and it doesn't always work. So I actually couldn't get it to work on my monitor, so hence why I haven't made a video about it. But I've seen others do it. But again, the versatility of this when you try to connect or even do wireless screen share isn't as refined as Samsung, let's say. Samsung, I think, has got the very best system because you literally have a secondary operating system, which is like a Windows operating system built into the machine, which is absolutely fantastic. And fifth and last of all, price. The pricing of this is always going to market people out. Basically, we're talking about something that is 2,000 euros without the promotional code, and it's 1,700 even with it. Now, you do get gifts. I'm very impressed. If you follow the link above, you'll see the unboxing experience and what you get included, especially when you order it from Honor themselves. So I would recommend, if you're considering getting a foldable device, to do that. But of course, 1,700 euros is a lot of money. So if that's not feasible for you, then you definitely want to look around or wait, because the price will drop. Now, the V2 is already 1,000 euros, which is much more in the range of obviously most flagship devices, but you are getting a foldable device, which is almost as good as this one. The V2 was very good. This is an excellent device, but the price might be the ultimate deterrent. Okay, so those are my 5 reasons why you might not want to consider this device. If there's anything interesting, or if you disagree with anything I've said, then please put a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye-bye for now.